And this week's fact check focuses on the aftermath of Israel's strike in Qatar. Very well documented. A key mediator, Qatar, in the Gaza war. Charlotte, tell us more.
Yes, as we've been reporting here at France 24, on Tuesday, Israel carried out an attack targeting senior Hamas leaders in Doha. This was an unprecedented and highly controversial strike, and it's unfolded in a densely populated area in Qatar's capital, situated near foreign embassies and schools, according to Hamas. The strike claimed the lives of several of its lower-level members. Qatar also announced that a Qatari security official was killed, but Hamas claimed that the attempt to assassinate its negotiating team failed. Now, in the wake of the strike, a claim has spread on social media that Qatar has suspended its mediation efforts in the Gaza conflict. Here is one post that I found making the claim on X. It racked up more than 900k views. Several media outlets, such as the Jerusalem Post, also posted this claim, attributing it to a diplomatic source. We also have Al Arabiya English making a similar statement here.
So this is from official news outlets in those countries. Is the claim true, Charlotte? Has Qatar suspended its mediation efforts?
No, Qatar has not suspended its mediation endeavours in the Gaza conflict, not for the time being at least. So later on Tuesday, the Qatari Prime Minister held a press conference, and during that conference, he said that mediation endeavours are part of the Qatari identity and that nothing would interfere with its role as a mediator. Let's take a closer look at what he had to say. So he said, Qatar reserved, I quote, the right to respond to this blatant attack, describing the strike as a pivotal moment for the region. He added that nothing, I quote, will deter us from continuing this mediation role for all the different issues around us in the region. So in the wake of these remarks, news outlets such as Al Arabiya and the Jerusalem Post modified their articles. That article that I just showed you was the updated version on the Al Arabiya website. Now, yesterday in an interview with CNN, the Qatari Prime Minister said Qataris, I quote, are reassessing everything in terms of their involvement in future mediation, in future ceasefire discussions, and that they are in detailed conversation with the US government on next steps. But again, he did not announce that Qatar is suspending its mediation endeavours. Qatar has, of course, taken on a mediator role in a string of conflicts. Rashid Al-Mahanadi, a non-resident fellow at the Middle East Council on Global Affairs, believes that Qatar is unlikely to abandon its mediator role. Now, in his opinion, it will likely continue to press for a truce through the use of multilateral organisations such as the UN Security Council, which, of course, just moments ago condemned the attack on Doha. But he does note that the strike on Doha leaves Qatar in a tricky position when it comes to hosting Hamas's political leadership. Now, on Sunday, Doha is set to host an emergency Arab-Islamic summit to discuss a response to the Israeli attack. This, according to the Times of Israel, as well as Qatari media reports. So it looks like we'll have some more information on how they plan to proceed in the coming days.
Charlotte, that's not just Qatar who's affected by all of this. Of course, their neighbours, Saudi Arabia, have also been roped in. How have they been affected?
So, following the strike, some social media users have alleged that Saudi Arabia announced it plans on attacking Israel to show solidarity with Qatar. Here is one such post I found on X that made that claim. It's stylized as a breaking news alert, and it racked up more than 700k views. The rumour has been doing the rounds, particularly on X. Here is another similar post that I found making that claim. This rumour, though, is actually misleading. So Saudi Arabia has not announced that it plans to attack Israel in the wake of that strike. No credible media outlets have actually reported that statement. Now, Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, meanwhile, did condemn the Israeli strike on Doha. Let's take a look at what it had to say. It warned of, I quote, dire consequences resulting from from Israel's actions. It did not specify what those consequences would be, though, or who would be responsible. Now, Qatar's Prime Minister, meanwhile, said he was seeking, I quote, a collective response to the Israeli attack. So we'll be providing more information on what that might look like as the details come through.
Charlotte Hughes, thank you so much for outlining that for us. That's the Truth or Fake segment here on France 24. There's more news coming up in just a few minutes.